Greetings, anime fans. Big D318 here, the fat and glorious bastard of anime. Welcome to part 2 of the video series known as the History of Anime. In part 1, which I'll leave a link to in the description bar, I discussed the birth and rise of anime with the first and second generations of Japanese animators, and I ended that part going into World War II, or WW2. And part 2 of this series, I'll be discussing the history of anime during and post WW2 era. So let's begin, shall we? In the 1930s, the Japanese government began to enforce cultural nationalism. This led to measures and laws being passed by the Japanese government, like the Film Law of 1939, in which allowed Japanese government to control and censor published media. This urged many animators to produce animations which enforced the Japanese spirit and national affiliation. After the 1939 film law was passed, many movies, documentaries, educational films, and animations, and etc. were shown in newsreel theaters. With such support, these films gave the boost that the animation industry desperately needed. This boost gave the animation studios to grow and to merge into bigger companies. The growth of the animation industry and its studios prompted the major live-action studios, such as Shochiku Studios, to produce animation. It was at Shochiku Studios where the masterworks like Kenzo Maesoka's Kumio to Chiripu were produced. The wartime reorganization of the film and animation industry had merged all the featured film, live-action film, and animation studios into just 3 big companies as the military commissioned more animated films. With the commissions provided by the Japanese Navy, Gaijitsu sorry for the pronunciation. Gaijitsu Yagasha produced Mitsuo's Momotaro's Sea Eagles in 1943 and Seo Momotaro's Divine Sea Warriors in 1945, by which, at that time, Japan's first feature-length animated films. Princess Iron Fan, which was produced in 1941 in China, had become the first Asian animation of notable length ever made. Alright. After World War II, it would be Japan whom had the most readily available resources to effectively continue to promote and expand the film and anime industry. I'm going to take a look at 2 of the 3 prominent animation studios. They are Toei Animation and Mushi Productions. Toei Animation was founded in 1948 and released the first color animation known as Hakujaden, the Tale of the White Serpent, in 1958. This film was this film compared to modern anime was more in tone and/or caliber as Disney, with musical numbers and animal sidekicks. However, it is widely considered to be the first anime ever in the modern sense. It was released to the US as Panda and the Magic Serpent in 1961. Toei continued to produce and released these Disney-like animated films. Eventually, Toei produced and released 2 of the most well-known anime series, Dragon Ball in 1986 and Sailor Moon in 1992. That's a good side note, isn't it? Toei Animation's emphasized its animators to bring their own ideas to the production of each film, thus greatly influenced Toei's style in a positive manner, in which led success to Toei Animation. The best example of this is Izuo Takahata's film Holes, The Prince of the Sun in 1968. Holes is regarded as the first major break from normal anime style and the beginning of the later movement of altruistic or progressive style of anime. This eventually gave rise to such directors as Hayao Miyazaki, the creator of Spirited Away, and Mamoru Oshii. Another major contribution to Toei's style to modern anime was the development of the method known as the money shot. The money shot is a method of animation which allows the emphasis to be placed on animating certain shots in greater detail than the rest of the animation of the film. This was very cost effective and affected each animated film in a positive manner. The Toei animator Yasuo Otsuka began to experiment and develop this type of animation further as he went into television. Later in the 80s, Toei Animation began to lend its talents and style to companies like Sunbow Productions, Marvel Productions, Dick Entertainment, Murakami Wolf Swinson, Ruby Spears, Hanna-Barbera, and TMS Entertainment to produce several animated cartoons for American audiences, which led by in part Asian studios to do foreign animation as well, producing animation to its native counterparts like Japan and the rest of Asia. Osamu Tezuka, with his production company known as Mushi Productions, rivaled Toei Animation. Mushi Productions' first hit was Mighty Atom, which later on became the first popular animated TV series in 1963. Yet, Atom was not the first anime series to be broadcast in Japan. That honor fell to Otogi Manga Calendar, being broadcasted in 1962. The first non-series anime broadcasted was Three Tails. However, Atom was the first series to feature regular characters with an ongoing plot. Atom was imported, adapted, and retitled to American television as Astro Boy in 1964. Yes, my fellow Americans, Astro Boy has been in the U.S. for 46 years. The success of Atom opened the doors for many more anime titles to be created. These titles include the following. The first Super Robot anime that was released by I'm sorry, let me backtrack. I lost my train of thought. Okay. Mitsuru Yokoyama's Tetsujin 28 Go, which was the first Super Robot anime. And then it was later released in the US as Gigantor. Tezuka's Jungle Emperor, which was later released in the US as Kimba the White Lion, and Tatsuo Yoshida's Mont Go Go Go, which was later released in the US as Speed Racer, which was produced by Tatsunoko Production Company Limited. Alright guys, I hope this this part of the video series has further broadened your knowledge of anime and your understanding of the history of anime. In part 3, I'll be discussing the history of anime in the 1970s and 80s. Part 4, I'll be addressing the history of anime in the 90s and 2000s. And Part 5, I'll be addressing how anime affected America, and that'll draw to a conclusion with that part of this video series. So, please rate, comment, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm Big D318, the fat and glorious bastard, and I'll be catching guys on the flip side.